up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are a Rock Nation, and I would say Jay-Z, but these days people saying Desiree Perez is running the show. You just took a big hit. No, I'm not talking about whatever was going on with Jay and Beyonce. Maybe not sitting next to the Kushners. Baby, believe what you want. There is a bigger story out there. If you guys don't know, I talked about the way the streets are whispering that Desiree Perez is pushing Jay-Z out. And she is the one running the Global Alliance, running Rock Nation. Des is the brains. She is the muscle. She is the money. However, it looks like even Desiree Perez couldn't get this casino going in Times Square. Now, let me just say this, right? I always kind of side, you're going to put a casino in Madison Square Garden. If anybody's ever been to Penn Station, you already know that it is like a Grand Theft Auto 2000, the year 2054, Terminator, and run for your life. I know what your mom did last summer. If you are trying to catch a train out of out of Madison Square Garden at the Amtrak stop, if you're trying to catch a train out of New York City, you already know it is literally like 28 days later and The Walking Dead. Why would you add a casino in there? I don't care what anybody says. There has not been a community on earth that has benefited from a casino. The stats are there. That's why every city, if it is thriving or if it has a vibrant thing, it's like, no, that is usually got to go on the outskirts. Even then, because it brings in drug addiction, it brings in prostituting, it brings in a level of organized crime, it brings in a lot of stuff. Casinos, a lot of people say not all money is good money. However, I kind of kept my mouth shut about it because one, I don't live in that neighborhood. But two, the neighborhood was in the comments like, no, gangbanging in the comments like, no, what are you talking about? We don't need this, we don't want this. They wanted to put a casino in Madison Square Garden, a casino, and all the foolery it brings in prime real estate in New York. And baby, they had all the billionaires lined up. They had Jay-Z. They had Desiree. Who's a real billionaire? Desiree or Jay-Z or both? They had Michael Rubin. They had everyone. They had everybody there. But guess what? It got denied. And baby, we have the video because the people that they paid to represent their interests that got denied, and maybe listen to what the guy had to say, and then maybe on the other side, because this was their reaction after the local community board, city council, whatever, said, no, we're not giving it to you. Look at this reaction. First of all, why are they acting like they were doing some civil rights struggle on behalf of all New Yorkers? Like acting as if not turning Times Square into a gambling den and denying them billions in process is a great loss to society. Y'all already got us on the Barclays Center. Baby, we ain't going for it again. Okay? Listen, as you said, he said, thank you to Governor Hochul and Mayor Adams for standing up for New York City. Standing up for New York City or standing up for the top 1%. Let's not forget from that Global Reform Alliance thing. Yeah. It was for prison reform. Baby, there is something called class solidarity. And people that are working class, we all need to stick together. Let me tell you something. I don't care if you're making $10 million a year. If you lose your job or income and you will be broke in the next 10 years, baby, you are working class too. Because that means you have to work for your money. He said, thank you, Governor Hochul and Mayor Adams for standing up for New York City. Remember, they stood up for New York City at the ballot box. Unfortunately, not every politician has the courage and foresight to do what's right for their constituents. Their constituents in the neighborhood literally were saying, hell no, this will not go. Again, the nerve, this sheer unmitigated gall to try to act like this was a lock. This was a loss for New York City. Have you lost your mind? Like, honestly, y'all, let me tell y'all something. And this ain't no shade to anyone. If you're a billionaire, good for you. We can argue over whether there are ethical billionaires. We can argue whether all money is good money. I don't care. Get your money. But what you're not going to do is start this new thing. This isn't even for Rock Nation. This is for all the billionaires. Stop packaging your thirst and lust for profits like you're doing something for the community. If you weren't making a pretty penny from this, you wouldn't even been doing the casino, and everybody knows that the casinos lower the property value, bring an element to neighborhoods, and it's not for thriving cities. There have been numerous case studies about this. Numerous. Anyway, Glock Topics on Twitter is reporting key committee votes no on Caesars Palace Times Square casino bid from the SL Green Realty Corporation, Caesars Entertainment, Rock Nation, and Live Nation. The group planned to convert the existing 54-story office building at 1515 Broadway into a casino. The plans called to build a casino above the Broadway Theater, as well as create a luxury hotel, restaurant, and entertainment spaces in the building. The advisory committee gave the project 2 yay votes and 4 nay. Baby, listen, Rock Nation and Jay-Z listed all the positives that would be created for everyday New Yorkers, as well as the city's businesses in this proposal to open up a Caesar's Place. Again, I would say this, whether this was Michael Rubin, Jay-Z, Michael, Scott, Tom, Paul, Dwight, and Jim. I would say it to everyone. How are you spending this? Like this was a loss for anyone but you. You guys, if you don't know the elements that casinos bring into neighborhoods, let me tell you. Now, this is coming from somebody that actually works in the industry, more or less, usually gambling law. They're like, casinos are always pitched as economic engines. They bring jobs, they'll bring tourism, they'll bring tax revenue. But when you look at why so many cities push back, it usually comes down to a set of consistent concerns that outweigh the promises. Cities recognize that casinos can bring in short-term money, but can bring in long-term problems. The big ones. For instance, crime and public safety. Casinos tend to increase certain types of crime. And this is proven through numerous studies. Fraud, theft, prostitution, and most importantly, loan sharking, which, by the way, is organized crime. Police departments worry about the extra cost of extra enforcement. Now, I don't know the police departments because, I don't know, I feel like New York City police are always looking for a budget raise. And you know Mayor Adams, he go together with New York Police Department real bad. Traffic and congestion, which already is a nightmare. A casino in a dense city core like Times Square or Madison Square Garden means 24/7 traffic, delivery trucks, shuttle buses, and drunk drivers. Cities fear it could overwhelm infrastructure that's already strained. It also cannibalizes local business, and this is what the Barclays Center actually did. Casinos don't usually spread money around. They pool discretionary spending into the casino itself. Slots, shows, food courts, branded restaurants. That's hurting surrounding small businesses instead of helping them. Now, that's not to speak of the addiction and social costs. Gambling addiction is expensive for communities. Bankruptcies, family breakdown, foreclosures, and higher demand for social services. Studies show the costs often cancel out or even exceed the tax revenue casinos bring in. Now, casinos don't care about that because usually social services absorb all those costs. But when you say a gambling addiction, it's not as easy as like, oh, just don't go. People with gambling addictions, I think 5% of people that go to casinos actually support it because it triggers a gambling gene and it just keeps going worse and worse and worse. Reputation and image. Cities worry about being seen as a casino town instead of a cultural and business hub. For Times Square, critics said it could undo decades of effort to clean up its image from the old peep show days. Not to mention, I don't care what anybody says, New York has still not fully, Manhattan, Brooklyn is doing good, right? Queens, I don't know, I guess y'all always gonna be Queens. Long Island, sure. Staten Island, at one point, y'all need to succeed from the 5 boroughs. But anyway, I'm just joking, right? But honestly, when it comes to undue efforts, decades to clean up, and a casino town, New York City has still not recovered from the pandemic. Manhattan, it doesn't have the energy it used to. It's getting there, but it's not there. And this could actually pull them the wrong way. Also, reputation and image. Cities worry about being seen as a casino town, right? But there's also the unstable revenue. Casinos promise big tax checks, but markets get saturated fast. Atlantic City is a cautionary tale. Casinos boomed, then they collapsed, leaving the city worse off. And also political and community pushback. Religious groups, neighborhood associations, and unions often oppose casinos. Politicians don't want to be tagged as the ones who sold out the community for a big, flashy project. The bottom line, cities see casinos as high risk and low reward. They might bring jobs and revenue, but they also bring crime, addiction, traffic, and brand damage. For a place like New York, where the tourism and entertainment ecosystem is already strong, leaders were asking, why gamble in a casino when we already have Broadway, Madison Square Garden, and world-class restaurants? Again, and this brings me to the Roc Nation stuff. Again, why were they acting like they were doing some civil rights struggle on behalf of New Yorkers? A bunch of billionaires trying to repackage a win for them as a win for us. We already know it's 2025. It doesn't trickle down. Get your money, make your money. I don't blame them for trying to go for the casino. Again, not my thing, but then again, I don't have $1 billion. But you cannot get mad when the people that actually live there look at all the research from all over the country where they've allowed casinos and been like, yeah, nah, it's not going to work out. I mean, honestly, take that mess to Forest Hills or something. But then again, Forest Hills is a nice neighborhood too. Like, seriously, take that someplace else. But again, listen, acting as if not turning Times Squares into gambling den and denying them billions in profits is a great loss for society. Man, however much that person was going to get if the deal went through, he is mad. He probably saw generational wealth slipping through his fingers because he was hot. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.